Welcome to Viking basketball with Tyler Geving. As we continue on in the non-conference schedule, the Vikings this Saturday play Texas Rio Grande Valley, and that will be in a doubleheader with the Portland State women. Portland State women play Saturday at 2 o'clock against UC Irvine, and then the Viking men play UTRGV, the Vaqueros from Texas Rio Grande Valley. Coach, before we talk about the upcoming game, we're going to talk about the first 5 games of the season. The one thing we've learned about the Vikings, they can score some points, leading the Big Sky Conference in scoring right now, over 87 points a game. And when you can do that, you'll always have a chance to win.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the name of the game a little bit, is put the ball in the basket. So, obviously that's kind of the style that we've, have played over the last 12 years, is we, are usually one of the top teams in the league in scoring. We want to get up and down. We want to play a fast-paced game, and I think it's exciting for the kids that we recruit. I think it's exciting for the fans, and we just kind of always bought into that style of play. So obviously, there's a negative to it a little bit. You end up giving up a little bit more points, and there's more possessions. So sometimes people look at your defensive stats and go, well, you're giving up a lot of points, and so there's a give and take. But year in and year out, it's just kind of the way we've played.
One thing that I looked up with regard to scoring is the last time Portland State scored this many points per game, a guy by the name of Freeman Williams, he's up on the wall right there, was playing at Portland State. So we'll see if the Vikings can maintain that throughout the year. Obviously, the one thing that's made a big difference from you, twice already this season, you've had 6 players in double figures in the same game, and when you have that many options to go to, that's got to help.
No, it does. And speaking of Freeman was actually at our Loyola Marymount game the other night, so it was pretty cool to see him prior to the game, and he came up and said hello to me. And obviously, one of the great scorers of all time in college basketball. So, but yeah, you're right, Mike. Anytime you got 6 guys out there, you look at the Pepperdine game, and Braxton Tucker, our leading scorer, was one of the guys that wasn't in double figures. So really, you could say 7 different guys. So I think that's what makes a good team on the offensive end, when you don't need to depend on Braxton Tucker or Kalen Robinson every single night. I mean, Zach Gangler's proved it over the years, and Deshaun Parsons at the end of the year has done a good job, and Traylon Ferris has given us a good low post presence. So yeah, we got some different options out there. Bryce Canda's done a heck of a job for us. So Deontay North has come on. So yeah, it's exciting to kind of know that people have to prepare for 6 or 7 different options out there.
Okay, now you already alluded to the defense, but if we take a closer look at the defense, one thing you did the other day against Pepperdine in that great win was you moved into a zone. We haven't seen the Vikings play zone a lot over the years, but the result was tremendous. 15 steals. I looked this up. It's been 12 years since a Viking team had that many steals in a game, and that led directly to victory. Is that kind of what you're pursuing maybe with that zone defense?
We'll see. I think in that game, I think it fit us better for guarding Pepperdine. I don't think we matched up with them really well. From a one-on-one standpoint, I just thought that zone would be a little bit better. But I think that's one thing that we have done well is last year and kind of carried over to this year. I think we were top 10, 12 in the nation last year in creating steals. So, the other night we created 20 turnovers and we got 29 points off it. And, that's the good thing about zone a little bit. Sometimes there's long shots, long rebounds, and if your guards can get it, it's easier to get going in transition. Or, if you make a steal up top, I think Kalen and Zach are very active up there. They got good hands. They get their hands on a lot of stuff. So if you can kind of create some steals up top, it leads to easier transition baskets the other way. So, that game, it was successful. We still need to play man. I mean, we can't get away from that either. So I think, we just got to, get better at both of them and give a steady diet of both throughout the season.
Okay, 5 games into the non-conference schedule. The Vikings currently 2-3. We've talked about the scoring. We talked about the zone defense you played the other day. But really, what have you learned about your team through these 5 games that maybe you're evaluating, working on improving, and is going to make a difference for you in the conference schedule?
Well, I think I've said it early in the year. I like our chemistry. I think the guys do a great job of sharing the basketball. I know we're averaging about 18 assists a game. That's, phenomenal. We don't have a lot of selfish guys. You would think you would when you got that many scorers, but the guys do a great job of sharing the basketball. So, I think that's usually a good trait for a team, going forward. I'm excited about that. I think we've kind of settled into some rotations a little bit. I think that helps. I think that's stuff you need to find out early on, where last year we were just all over the map until about February. So, if we can continue to establish our top 7, 8, 9, I think that'll make a smooth transition kind of going into league play. So we're not trying to figure that out then. But, on the negative side, I think we've got to get better defensively. I think teams are shooting too high of a percentage. I still think we've got to get better at rebounding. But I guess that's, goes along with the defensive end. So if we can kind of clean some of those up, I'm not saying we got to, we're not that far off. I think sometimes it's 5 or 6 possessions in a game, and if we can clean those up, I think we'll be a better team.
Okay, and you alluded to rotation. Now off the bench, you already referenced Traylon Ferris. Deontay North appears to be a guy that's going to get minutes. Kyrie Holloway. All of those guys capable scorers again, and that's a great boost to have off the bench, knowing you're going to get points when you make subs.
Yeah, I mean, Traylon was phenomenal the other night against Pepperdine, and Braxton's knee was a little bit sore, and we went with Traylon the last 15 minutes of the game, and he was great. I thought he, played an awesome game and rebounded well and defended and ran the floor. So, when you're, guys, your leading scorer is a little bit hurt and you can put him in, that's a nice luxury to have. And, Deontay, we all know he can score. It's just, sometimes, getting used to a new system and playing with guys. So we need to, continue to have his kind of instant offense off the bench. And Kyrie Holloway is same thing. He's proven it year in and year out that, he's can give us a scoring punch off the bench as well.
Okay, we look ahead now to Texas Rio Grande Valley again this Saturday here in the Stotts Center. And this is a team that's given up a few points as well. So do we anticipate one of those up and down, maybe shooting for 100-point type games again?
I think, yeah, both of us are very similar. I've just watched a little bit of them so far and followed their scores, and I know Coach Aranaka was in there watching a lot of video this morning. But, yeah, I think it's probably going to be a game that's going to be up and down. I think both teams like to get up and down. Both teams like to score. Both of us are probably pretty average defensively right now, but I think a lot of that is just, related, like I said earlier, it's just the style of play. So there's going to be more possessions, and so yeah, it'll be interesting. I think you're going to see a track meet on Saturday.
All right, that's good to hear. Vikings beat Texas Rio Grande Valley last year in Edinburgh, Texas. They come to Portland this Saturday. It'll be a great doubleheader basketball. Again, the women at 2 p.m. against UC Irvine, and then the Viking men playing Texas Rio Grande Valley, 4:30 start right here in the Stotts Center. Get all your information at govikes.com.